Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Tuesday, February 16, 2016. Join us for the next 45 minutes as we deliver today's top stories around the globe. I'm Angelo, Castro III.
We are here to give you carefully gathered stories, assuring you of accurate, truthful, and balanced newscasts. I'm Gerry Alcantara.
We are also seen in 1,360 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through www.untvweb.com. This is Y News. Here are the headlines. The Commission on Elections drops printing of receipts from the vote counting machines. U.S. President Barack Obama urges having common goals among ASEAN countries in resolving territorial disputes. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority sets to implement the no contact apprehension policy next month.
The Department of Transportation and Communications targets to complete the Ninoy Aquino International Airport Expressway project by August. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board commends a Grab taxi driver for extending help to the needy. And Solicitor General Florin Hilbay maintains that Senator Gerry is a natural-born citizen and is a qualified presidential candidate.
First in the news, the Commission on Elections has ruled with finality not to activate a feature of vote counting machines that can print a receipt. Victor Cusare, tell us why.
Voting unanimously, the Commission on Elections will not allow the clamor of some that the vote counting machines or VCM must print a receipt so voters can verify if their votes were accurately read by the machine. During the hearing conducted by the Joint Congressional Oversight Committee on the Automated Election System or JCOC-AES, COMELEC Chairman Andres Bautista says the disadvantages of printing receipts outweighed its advantages. Bautista adds that although receipts help promote transparency and accuracy, but the poll body fears that it might also be used for vote buying. The poll chief further says the mere printing of receipts will add 5 to 7 hours to the voting time.
One of the challenges of our elections is the long lines, the long queues, and we believe again this will be a deterrent, or it may disincentivize voters to vote on election day.
COMELEC also fears that receipts might be used by some to discredit and spark chaos on the election day. COMELEC critics, however, are against the poll body's decision. They insist that it is the only way for a voter to check the accuracy of the machine.
We will not be able to say anything there except that we will have the means to verify na yung sinabi ng makinang iyan ay tama dahil meron tayong resibo.
On the other hand, former COMELEC Chairman Sixto Brillantes backs the COMELEC's decision, saying the issue was also raised prior to the conduct of the 2010 and 2013 polls, and all members of the ONBank voted against the idea of printing receipts.
Yung sinagsasabi ni Chong doon na kung ano-ano, wala yung pinagkaralan na lahat namin yun.
Meanwhile, COMELEC is still studying the option of just reflecting on the VCM screen the name of the candidates voted by a voter. Although initial deliberation of the COMELEC ONBank resulted in a 4-2 vote against the on-screen verification. Earlier in the hearing, the poll body conducted a demonstration on how on-screen verification is done and on the feature of printing a receipt. As chairman of the JCOC-AES, Senator Aquilino Pimentel III is in favor of printing the receipts as against on-screen verification. He stresses, however, that measures must be implemented so it will not delay the voting process.
Yes, better receipts. Kasi I think it will be quicker. 30 seconds ang binigay for the voter to examine the screen. But the printing is 10 seconds. So if times are concerned, better to give the voter a receipt. which will be dropped inside the ballot box while inside the classroom.
Victor Cosare reporting for Y News.
The Philippine Military Academy Alumni Association says it will reprimand political candidates who will campaign during the Academy's alumni homecoming. Nel Maribohok tell us why.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police regard the Philippine Military Academy Alumni Homecoming a meaningful event. This is an occasion in which PMA graduates reminisce their cadet life and be with their mistas and friends again. Like any other military camps in the country, any political activity is not allowed even in the Philippine Military Academy, especially during its alumni homecoming.
Anything that has political underlinings, bawal sa occasion na yan. Even the retired kasi magkakaroon ng political color yung aming activity. It is highly discouraged.
1 month before the event, there had been coordinating conferences and information dissemination by the leadership of the PMA Alumni Association to all would-be attendees to remind them of these regulations.
Meron na nga mga bagong panuntunan na inilabas na pati yung mga honorary members ay hindi na pwedeng sumama doon sa parade grounds. It was properly disseminated, so it's just a matter of following specific orders.
1,500 active and retired AFP and PNP officers, together with 4,500 visitors, are expected to attend the PMA Alumni Homecoming at Fort Gregorio del Pilar, Baguio City from February 19 to February 21. AFP also warned the political candidates who will be attending the PMA Alumni Homecoming that they will strictly prohibit any form of political campaigning during the event.
Their attention will be called, and then maybe some reprimand or sanctions.
Meanwhile, expected attendees in the homecoming are Armed Forces Chief of Staff General Hernando Iriberri of PMA Class 1983 and Defense Secretary Volter Gasmin of PMA Class 1968. The guest speaker of the event is PMA Class 71 Cavalier Marciano Painar, former Director General of the APEC Organizing Committee. There will be other activities during the event such as Eco Trail Run, Golf Tournament, and Alumni Parade. Nel Maribuhok, reporting for Y News.
The Philippine Consulate in Hawaii is aiming for an increased voter turnout in the overseas absentee voting this coming elections. Based on the United States Census, there are more than 100,000 Filipinos living in Hawaii. However, only about 8,000 of them have registered for the OAV. In an interview with UNTV News, Consul Roberto Bernardo says based on records, only about 1,000 Filipinos usually participate in the overseas absentee voting. To address this, the Commission on Elections and the Philippine Consulate in Hawaii tapped UNTV to be its media partner in the information dissemination of the overseas absentee voting. For this, UNTV Hawaii is now coordinating with the Filipino communities in the island.
The ASEAN-US Summit has formally opened in Sunnyland, California. U.S. President Barack Obama and leaders of the ASEAN member countries are set to discuss issues including the maritime dispute in the West Philippine Sea. Marge Navarro, tell us why.
This year is the first time the ASEAN-US Summit is hosted by the United States, which signifies the close alliance between the U.S. and the ASEAN member states. President Benigno Aquino III is among the attendees at the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and the U.S. Summit being held in Sunnyland's Rancho Mirage, Southern California. This is the last attendance of President Aquino in the ASEAN-US Summit before stepping down from office this year. First in the agenda today is the promotion of an innovative ASEAN economic community. First to deliver his speech was U.S. President Barack Obama, who expressed his intention to return the gesture and hospitality that the ASEAN nations have given him during his visits. Obama emphasized that the ASEAN is the fourth among the trading partners of the United States.
This reflects my personal commitment and the national commitment of the United States to a strong and enduring partnership with your 10 nations.
He stressed that the ASEAN-US Summit is the proper venue to push a common goal towards a peaceful ASEAN region. He added that the ASEAN nations should have a shared visions of rules and norms for resolving territorial disputes among countries.
And here at the summit, we can reaffirm that strong, prosperous, and inclusive societies require good governance, rule of law, accountable institutions, vibrant civil societies, and upholding human rights.
Obama also said that the support of all ASEAN nations is highly necessary to protect the rights of the people in the ASEAN region. On the second day tomorrow, leaders are expected to discuss the issues in line with protecting peace, prosperity, and security in the Asia-Pacific, which will be followed by an official family photo of the ASEAN leaders together with Mr. Obama. Tomorrow, President Aquino will also meet with business leaders and corporate giants in Los Angeles. He is also scheduled to speak with the Filipino communities before going back to the Philippines on Wednesday. Marge Navarro reporting for Y News.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, will begin the implementation of the no-contact apprehension policy in Metro Manila next month. Grace Casin will tell us why.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, will impose stricter measures to discipline the motorists with the implementation of the no-contact apprehension policy in March. This means that the MMDA will make use of the CCTV cameras, cell phone, and other recording gadgets to apprehend motorists who will go against traffic rules. Footages should capture the actual violations, including the plate number of the involved vehicle for faster tracking of the owner or the operator of the vehicle. The said policy will test whether the motorists are observing discipline in adhering the traffic rules even without the presence of a traffic law enforcer. It also aims to minimize traffic along major thoroughfares, which is usually the cause of traffic violations. The no-contact policy is expected to reduce extortion activities among traffic law enforcers. The MMDA will first assess the incidents of traffic violation caught on camera. If the violation is clear, the agency will send a notice to the violator. In case the driver denies the violation, he will be summoned by the MMDA for further questioning. The apprehended motorist will be asked to pay the necessary fine for his violations in banks accredited by the agency.
May opportunity sila to contest yung particular summons na yun. Hindi naman ibig sabihin pag natanggap mo kasalanan mo na.
Pwede rin. Walang magagawa kapag yun ang patakaran nila. Wala tayong susunod na lang.
Depende po kung ano yung violation. Siyempre, mas maganda pa rin yung titigitan ka para alam mo kung saan ano yun yung lisensya mo, kung saan dadalhin. Kung pipicturean ka lang, paano naman yung karapatan mo dyan.
However, the MMDA clarified that the no-contact policy only applies to moving violations. It does not cover administrative violations, which requires documents such as the franchise document, which the traffic law enforcer needs to see personally.
Pag kolorum, di kayang hulihin ng no-contact policy. Dahil you have to look into the papers, you have to look into the engine number, you have to look into other data ng sasakyan. That does not mean na yung mga traffic constable natin hindi pwedeng humuli ng moving violations dahil manghuhuli pa rin sila. So augmentation lang to sa.
As of today, there are about 400 CCTVs installed in various parts of Metro Manila, to which the agency plans to place 160 additional units. The MMDA had earlier imposed the no-contact policy along Commonwealth Avenue in 2011, wherein all over-speeding motorists are being sent notices and demanded the necessary fines. Grace Casin reporting for Y News.
Moderate to heavy traffic is now being experienced along major roads in Metro Manila. Joyce Balantra is now in Commonwealth Avenue to tell us why live. Go ahead, Joyce.
Yes, good evening, Gerry. You are right. If you're going to check the traffic condition in different mobile applications like the Waze and the MMDA traffic application, it will notify you that heavy to moderate traffic is now being experienced in major roads in Metro Manila, particularly around the area of Quezon City. We are here in Commonwealth Avenue, but the traffic here is generally lighter compared to other areas here in Quezon City. On the northbound lane of Commonwealth Avenue, Gerry, as you can see, vehicles are starting to move a bit slower compared to those on the other side on the southbound lane leading to Quezon City Circle. But if you're coming from EDSA going here, expect a moderate to heavy flow of traffic along Quezon Avenue, North Avenue, and even East Avenue. The slow pace will stretch until Quezon City Circle as more vehicles are going or exiting to major roads in Quezon City or converging in this area. Motorists will also experience moderate traffic condition in Commonwealth, Philcoa, but it will get lighter approaching University of the Philippines, Diliman. Along Commonwealth, traffic will start to build up again in Tandangsora intersection as many vehicles are crossing towards Katipunan C5. But after this intersection, vehicles will start to move faster going north of Commonwealth. Traffic is light in most areas in Commonwealth, but expect bumper to bumper once you approach a bottleneck area after Commonwealth Rotunda. This slow-moving traffic will stretch all the way to North Fairview. Southbound traffic is generally light, only a quick build-up at Tantangsora intersection. Meanwhile, in EDSA, Gerry, heavy traffic is now being experienced in most areas. In the southbound lane, traffic is starting to build up along Balintawak Market. MMDA advises the public to take alternate routes and as much as possible avoid the area of Muñoz. Going south of EDSA, traffic is moderate to heavy along Trinoma area and it will get heavier at Quezon City flyover. This bumper-to-bumper will stretch all the way to White Plains, Connecticut. On the northbound lane of EDSA, heavy traffic starts at Magallanes MRT station as vehicles coming from Pasay, Pasong Tamo Extension and SLEX are converging in this area. Also take alternate routes and avoid areas of Guadalupe, Shaw Boulevard, Ortigas, Cubao Farmers as vehicles are moving very slow in those areas. Just a friendly tip, Gerry, to our motorists, we can all help in easing traffic condition in Metro Manila by first following the traffic rules and regulations set by our authorities, and of course for our public utility vehicles to just load and unload passengers in the proper places. And that is our latest traffic update live here in Commonwealth Avenue. Back to you, Gerry.
Thank you, Joyce Balancho, reporting live from Commonwealth Avenue.
As early as today, the PNP Highway Patrol Group is informing the public to expect heavy traffic in EDSA and in areas near the People Power Monument on February 25. Tell us why, Joanna.
The PNP Highway Patrol Group advises motorists to expect heavy traffic in EDSA on the 25th of February. Some portions of EDSA will be closed on that day to give way to celebration rites of the 30th anniversary of the EDSA People Power Movement, mainly at the EDSA Shrine and here at the People Power Monument. From 12:01 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. of February 25, the northbound lane of EDSA will be closed from Ortigas to Boni Serrano Avenue. PNP HPG Director Police Chief Superintendent Arnold Gunaco says thoroughfares near EDSA Ortigas such as White Plains, Meralco Avenue and Katipunan Extension will also be affected. For this, authorities advise motorists to avoid these routes and consider alternative roads to avoid traffic congestion.
Yung mga motorista, they should stay away from this portion. Itong Ortigas Avenue, itong EDSA to Santolan, hindi naman sila makapasok. Ortigas Avenue, tapos Katipunan Extension, they should go away from those routes.
Meanwhile, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA has assigned zipper lanes to areas affected by the closure. Motorists coming from Makati going to Quezon City should take Shaw Boulevard towards C5 Road in Pasig, then exit to Boni Serrano in EDSA. From Makati, motorists may also go through Mabuhay Lanes number 7 along Mandaluyong towards San Juan to New Manila in Timog Avenue and exit to Quezon Memorial Circle. The PNP HPG assures the deployment of 50 troopers who will help manage traffic situations in EDSA, specifically in Santolan, Ortigas and in nearby arteries to guide the motorists. This number is an augmentation to the existing 200 HPG personnel on the ground who are already aiding traffic flow in EDSA.
Doon lang sa mga entrances, dito sa Ortigas, sa Santolan, dito sa may Temple Drive. Doon lang yung mga highway patrol natin.
Gunaco says their personnel usually guard the side streets connected to EDSA for the purpose of decongesting arterial roads which may otherwise disrupt the flow of motorists along EDSA. Joanna reporting for Y News.
The Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH appeals to the public to be patient during traffic in some roads bound for the NAIA terminals. Tell us why, Nel Maribohok.
The Department of Public Works and Highways is not yet certain as to when they will be able to finish the test fitting of the structure that will connect Ninoy Aquino International Airport Expressway Phase 2 project with the Phase 1 located in Villamor Air Base in Sales Road, Pasay City. This is why the DPWH is once again making an appeal to the motorists going to NAIA terminals to avoid Sales Road and Andrews Road.
Ang pakiusap namin sa publiko, kung pwede lang iwasan muna yung Andrews, no? At dumaan muna sila dito sa tramo.
The 15 billion peso NAIA Expressway project is one of the Aquino administration's priority projects under Public-Private Partnership Program. The project is expected to be completed in August.
May, magagamit na yan papuntang Rojas Boulevard at Macapagal Boulevard. Agosto, kabit na yung buong NAIA Expressway at saka Skyway.
The 7 kilometers elevated expressway project will link the 3 terminals of NAIA and will connect the Skyway and Manila-Cavite Toll Expressway. Commuters believe that the NAIA Expressway project will help ease the traffic congestion in the area and ensure easy access to airport terminals.
Paluwag yan. Malaking tulong yan sa amin, sa mga commuters dito.
Makakatulong to sir pag natapos to.
Nel Maribuhok, reporting for Y News.
The Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE, together with other concerned government agencies, vows to pursue the protection of OFWs from the so-called Tanim Bala scheme. Darlene Basingan will tell us why.
Several government agencies signed today a Memorandum of Understanding or MOU that seeks to harmonize and organize their functions in terms of protecting departing passengers, especially OFWs, from the so-called Tanim Bala scheme.
To ensure na yung mga pasahero natin, maging turista, mamamayan natin at OFW ay kumbinyente at ligtas ang kanilang pagbabiyahe nang hindi tayo lumalabag sa mga batas at ganun din hindi naman nako-compromise ang ating national security.
The MOU primarily clarifies procedures in terms of assisting OFWs who may be intercepted with prohibited items at airports. In line with this, it also mandates the presence of POEA personnel and prosecutors from the National Prosecution Service in NAIA terminals 24/7.
Ang immediate concern is paano tutulungan yung kung OFW dahil madidelay ang pag-alis niya, and then we have to coordinate with the employers and with the recruitment agencies. We have to also provide, in the case of OWA, kung kailangang mag-stay siya dito ng shelter, even yung food requirements and transportation. And of course, we have to coordinate with the concerned agency.
Under the MOU, the PNP Aviation Security Group will have to inform the POEA and OWA about the referrals of OFWs found with illegal items like ammunitions. Representatives from POEA will then assist OFWs intercepted with prohibited items. For those who may be required to stay for investigation, the POEA shall rebook their flights with airline companies and request the Public Attorney's Office for immediate designation of a public attorney to provide legal representation to the worker in question, among others. Meanwhile, among OWA's mandate include providing immediate assistance to the worker or accompanying family members subject of a probe, especially on that worker's need during the conduct of the investigation. Station prosecutors on duty in NAIA, meanwhile, will conduct inquests and preliminary investigation of cases. It will also provide guidance on the proper interpretation and application of the law through training programs and seminars. A technical working group chaired by MIAA and composed of representatives from other signatory agencies will also be created to serve as a coordinating mechanism for the implementation of the activities under the MOU. Darlene Basingan reporting for Y News.
The private owner of the LRT, the Light Rail Manila Corporation, aims to rehabilitate all the existing trains of the LRT this year. Juan Hocson is at Pasay City to tell us why.
Yes, good evening. The LRT Line 1 currently has 91 trains in operation. The Light Rail Manila Corporation wants to rehabilitate all these trains, including the first generation trains that is already 30 years old. When LRT administration turned over the ownership of LRT Line 1 to LRMC, there were only 77 trains working in the line. After 5 months, LRMC was able to rehabilitate additional 14 trains to augment the line's daily operation. LRMC is aiming to rehabilitate all the trains, including the first generation, for public use. The first generation trains date back to 1984, while the second generation trains were acquired in 1999 and the third generation in 2008. Based on the concession agreement, LRMC must have 100 working trains operating on the line, and LRMC currently has 91 trains working. Every day, LRMC is required to provide 28 trains for operation to meet the daily number of commuters in the line. The LRT commuters average up to 450,000 every day, mostly bound for Divisoria Market and vice versa. The current speed of the trains in LRT is at 40 kilometers per hour, and after the rehabilitation, LRMC aims to make it at 60 kph. The fourth generation trains funded by Japan International Cooperation Agency or JICA will arrive next year. 120 trains will be added to the current number of trains in the LRT. The rehabilitation of all the trains will take 1 to 2 years before completion. And that's the latest here in Pasay City in the LRT depot. Back to you.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board recognizes the good deeds of a Grab taxi driver who went viral on social media. Grace Casin tells us why.
Grab taxi driver Carlos Santiago Diaz, 25, went viral in social media these past few days after his passenger Jelica Manuel Tulawan found out about his touching story. Jelica posted on her Facebook account that she and her friend boarded the Grab car of Diaz at Cubao on their way to Moriones, Tondo. While traversing Pedro Hill Street, the driver stopped at the dark place, which started frighten Jelica. But to her surprise, she saw Diaz hand a bag of food to an elderly lying on the street. LTFRB called up Carlo to recognize his good deeds after his story went viral in social media. LTFRB Chairman Winston Hines said they decided to recognize Carlo's charitable act to set a good example to other drivers.
Kaya ginagawa po namin to para naman ma-recognize sila at hindi natin sinasabing pinupuntirya na lang natin ang mga masasama.
Carlos says he and his girlfriend regularly hand out food to beggars on street. His girlfriend personally cooks and prepares the food. Carlo added that they want to share with others the blessing they received, and they feel happy every time they were able to help others in need.
Naisip ko lang po na parang makatulong po sa kahit isang gabi lang po yung gutom nila, makakain po sila ng maayos na pagkain.
Kung meron naman kaming kahit konti, bakit hindi namin i-share?
Despite the negative reports of abusive cab drivers, the story of Carlo is proof that there is still good ones that passengers can trust. Grace Casin reporting for Y News.
During the continuation of oral arguments before the Supreme Court today, Solicitor General Florin Hilbay maintained that Senator Gerry Poe is a natural-born citizen and is therefore qualified to run as president of the country. Marge Navarro tells us why.
Speaking before the Supreme Court as Tribune of the People, Solicitor General Florin Hilbay says foundlings like Senator Gerry Poe are natural-born citizens of the country. He argues that the framers of the 1935 Constitution are convinced that there is no more need to declare foundlings as Filipinos because they are already impliedly so recognized. Hilbay adds that foundlings are natural-born citizens as a matter of right because it is safe to assume their parents are Filipinos. Citing government statistics, Hilbay stated that the probability that any child born in the Philippines in 1968, the year Poe was found in Iloilo, is 99.8%. He further said it is contrary to common sense that foreigners would come to the country, get pregnant and leave their newborn babies behind. The Solicitor General also says foundlings must be given special protection under our laws and not discriminate them because of their marginalized status. Hilbay also says that to deny full Filipino citizenship to all foundlings and render them stateless is downright discriminatory, irrational, and unjust. The private respondents who sought the disqualification of Senator Poe don't agree with Hilbay's position. Attorney Estrella El Amparo says the case only involves Poe and not all foundlings because not all foundlings renounce their citizenship, abandon their domicile here, and thereafter run for the highest office of the country and misrepresented in their certificate of candidacy. Meanwhile, on the issue of residency, Hilbay says it is a fact that Senator Poe has been here since 2005 and she had removed her children from American schools and transferred them to schools in Manila. He concludes Poe's claim that she is residing in the Philippines for at least 10 years now is valid. The petitions of Senator Poe is now up for the court's resolution. The High Court has concluded the hearing of the oral arguments and gave the parties 5 days to submit their memoranda. Marge Navarro reporting for Y News.
Y News will be right back. A former security guard of the Optical Media Board office testified earlier at the Sandiganbayan 4th Division against former and incumbent OMB officials. Joyce Balancho will tell us why.
State prosecutors presented earlier the first witness for the graft trial against former Optical Media Board Chair Ronnie Ricketts, Executive Director Cyrus Paul Valenzuela, and all other accused. During the trial at the Sandiganbayan 4th Division, former security guard Pedro Gasingan confirmed that in May 2010, the agency returned some 127 boxes and 2 sacks of pirated DVDs and VCDs after these were confiscated the same day. These were raided by OMB officials from Sky High Marketing Corporation. According to Gasingan, an agent of Ricketts named Glenn Perez instructed him to allow the release of confiscated materials even without a gate pass. He said he even confirmed with Executive Director Cyrus Paul Valenzuela the permit, but the latter instructed him to just follow the order if it was given by Ricketts. Valenzuela, however, denied giving permission for the release of confiscated DVDs and VCDs.
Instruction ko sa kanya was kung truck lang yung ilalabas, I have no problem with that. Because we also shown na the truck was not part of the confiscated items. I'm a lawyer and alam ko yung procedure sa office.
He added that OMB officials conspired to avoid further investigation of the operation.
Nagkausap naman kami ng head ng admin and siguro hintayin na lang natin yung magiging statements niya. Because may sinabi siya sa akin na her hands were tied, ganung bagay.
According to the information of the case, OMB officials violated the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act for giving unwarranted benefits or favor to Sky High Marketing Corporation. Ricketts Camp refused to give any statement on the matter. The graft trial of former OMB Chair Ronnie Ricketts and all the other accused will be continued on April 6 and 7, wherein the prosecution camp will still have to present other witnesses to prove the allegations against all the accused. Joyce Balancho reporting for Y News.
A former senator suggests that unobligated funds from the yearly national budget should be distributed to the local government units. Joyce Balancho is back to tell us why.
Former Senator Panfilo Lacson reports that the government has saved more than 5 billion pesos from the 2014 national budget. For this reason, Lacson suggests that the government should utilize such unspent funds or unobligated budget to augment the shortage of funds in the municipal and provincial level. Based on the study conducted by Lacson's group, he says the 100 million annual income of a certain municipality is low because 55% of it goes to employee compensation, 10% goes to the Sangguniang Kabataan, 5% is reserved as calamity fund, and the remaining 10% funds is for the basic services. For instance, a municipality in Leyte only has an internal revenue allotment of 23 million pesos, 4.6 million pesos of which goes to development projects, which is impossible to create additional jobs. Lacson insists, however, that presence of infrastructure projects in the provinces, towns, and municipalities would clearly provide additional job opportunities.
Pag binigyan natin ng 1 billion each of the 81 provinces, yung 1,490 municipalities, 144 cities, 42,026 barangays, ang total lang noon 483 billion. So pag dinistribute natin ito, it can easily be translated to job opportunities.
Likewise, it will lead those in Metro Manila to return to the provinces because of greater job opportunities there.
Pati yung Metro Manila madidecongest. Why? Because our kababayans who are here looking for greener pastures or job opportunities na hindi rin naman masyadong available or underemployed.
Lacson is confident this would minimize corruption of unspent funds. The former senator says the distribution of unobligated budget will be made possible by amending some provisions of the General Appropriations Bill through savings allotment, supplemental budget, and passing a related bill. Joyce Balancio reporting for Y News.
The Department of Tourism Davao and an association of event organizers signed an agreement as an initiative to further promote tourism in the city. Joy Domingo will tell us why.
The city government of Davao intends to make the Visit Davao Fun Sale or VDFS summer program a success. For this, its Department of Tourism signed a memorandum of agreement with an association of event organizers to further promote tourism in the city. The Meetings, Incentives, Conferences and Exhibitions or MICE serves as the executive committee for the Visit Davao Fun Sale or VDFS program, which is an initiative of the DOT towards a better tourism. It is tasked to invite organizations to join and to systemize the events and activities for the program. According to Benji Lizada, committee chairman of Visit Davao Fun Sale 2016, various organizations have already expressed their support for the initiative, like the malls and other recreation destinations of the city.
It does not only include organizations, we expanded and included also the two different areas in the Davao region, namely Samal City and Davao del Sur. That's why we have the Boulder Face Challenge. So we want it wider.
Included in the program are the Samal Half Marathon, Boulder Challenge, and Durian Man Triathlon. There will also be an exhibition of Davao arts in malls and other key locations in the city. The program will also highlight Grand Indie Film Festival, which will feature the winners of different film festivals, whether local or national. There will also be music events, ethnic music fusion, collective old school, and new Davao.
So the exciting thing about this year's VDFS is the events are classified into 3 themes, namely adventure and sports, culture and arts, and party, fun, and leisure.
According to DOT Region 11 Regional Director Robbie Alabado, the upcoming elections this coming May will not in any way hamper the success of this tourism program.
So even if there is election, we are saying that patuloy pa rin po na mga laagan ang mga Pilipino. So we are taking advantage of the season of summer so that our people around the Philippines can enjoy Davao. So patuloy po kami.
Visit Davao Fun Sale starts on March 25 and ends on May 31. From Davao City, Joey Domingo reporting for Y News.
The Bicol region and Quezon province will continue to experience cloudy skies with light to moderate rains due to the effect of the tail end of a cold front. The Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical Astronomical Services Administration says the northeast monsoon will also affect the northern and central Luzon. Light rains are expected over the regions of Cagayan Valley, Cordillera, and the provinces of Aurora. Metro Manila and the rest of the country will have partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Meanwhile, small fishing vessels and sea crafts are advised not to venture in seaboards of northern Luzon due to high waves caused by the amihan.
China confirms a second important Zika case 6 days after the first was detected. Meanwhile, a missile attack on a highway and a children's hospital in the Syrian town of Azaz kills at least 14 civilians. Ann Nunez tells us why.
In Syria, at least 14 civilians were killed in the Syrian town of Azaz, the last rebel stronghold before the border with Turkey, when missiles hit a children's hospital and a school sheltering refugees fleeing the Syrian army offensive. A video posted on social media purports to show the aftermath of a strike on a highway, with a truck and a motorbike on fire and corpse lying on the ground. Another video shot with a mobile phone shows babies in incubators. Authorities say the babies had been moved to another hospital after the attack. Major powers agreed in Munich on Friday, February 12, to a cessation of hostilities in Syria, but the deal does not take effect until the end of this week and was not signed by any warring parties. In America, an expansive winter storm bore down on the U.S. East Coast on Monday, scuttling almost 1,400 flights and threatening a treacherous wet commute on Tuesday after the holiday weekend. In Galax, Virginia, roads were covered with 3 to 4 inches of snow. Traffic was sparse and some residents spent the President's Day holiday shoveling snow from the sidewalks. Tornado watches were in place in Alabama and Louisiana. Heavy rains also drenched Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia. The vast storm stretched to western parts of Pennsylvania and New York, where Buffalo was expected to get more than 12 inches of snow. In China confirms a second imported Zika case reported on Monday, 6 days after the first was detected. The General Administration of Quality Supervision, Inspection and Quarantine, or AQSIQ's branch in South Guangdong Province found a passenger with fever at Guangzhou Baiyun International Airport on February 12 and was confirmed with Zika virus by the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention on the same day. The 28-year-old patient was said to have been exposed to an infected person in Venezuela days before returning to Guangzhou on February 9 via the Netherlands and Russia. The quarantine patient has shown signs of recovery with temperature back to normal. China's first patient with the virus was discharged from hospital on Sunday after a full recovery. Disease prevention experts say the risk of any spread of the virus from this case is low due to timely quarantine. Ann Nunez reporting for Y News.
Team Philippines bags gold in the Open Taekwondo World Championship in Italy. Precious Ong will tell us why.
Two young Filipino athletes win gold medals in the Open Taekwondo World Championship held in Italy. Christian Villanueva wins gold in the pattern and sparring categories. Meanwhile, Gabriel Estuaria bags gold in the sparring and bronze in the pattern category.
Nung nandun na po ako sa Rimini kung saan po kami naglaban, doon po ay kabang-kabado po ako nun. So nagpray po ako na tanggalin po yung nervyos na yun, tapos palakasin po yung loob ko.
Ho lavorato tanto, anche nei combattimenti, ho sforzato.
Aside from the two, other Filipino young athletes who won medals were Nicolo De Palma, who won silver in pattern category and bronze in the sparring category.
Il master ci ha fatto fare molte tecnica e forme, ci ha cazziato molto, ci ha allenato molto.
Taekwondo master Juanito Jojo Arsol Jr. and founder of the Philippine Taekwondo ITF Italia says his students went through extensive training and perseverance.
Tinuturo ko sa mga estudyante ko na hindi yung hindi ko kaya, mahirap, ganon. Kailangan lagi nilang subukan. Kaya pinagbabawal ko ang salitang hindi ko kaya, mahirap.
Overall, Team Philippines bagged 3 golds, 1 silver, and 2 bronze medals in the tournament. Team Philippines will again compete in the World Championship on October 25 to 30 in Marina di Carrara in Tuscany, Italy, and in Ireland on February 2017. With the UNTV News Team in Italy, Precious Ong reporting for Y News.